Ilya Blazh is a musician, educator, and entrepreneur from Rostov-on-Don in Russia. Holding a bachelor degree in performance from Berklee College of Music, he also studied at the Kim Nazaretov Jazz Music School. Ilya has performed at multiple international festivals, won multiple international competitions, and recorded 10 studio albums. His collaborations include Nicola Spaden, Jerry Bergonzi, and Jason Palmer Quintet. His community experience title is Changing Society and Music Education Through Dance. And we welcome, as panelists, is Advisor Chase Mooring and Professor Darren Barrett is here with us. Please clap for both of them. Thank you so much for being here. And please welcome on stage Ilya Blazh.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ilya Blazh. Musician, educator, pursuing currently my master's degree at Global Jazz Institute. Today, I'm very fortunate to present you my CE project entitled Changing Society and Music Education Through Dance, my story of embracing dancing and how it can help others. So the reason why I picked this subject is basically there are three reasons. First of all, I have a personal story that I felt compelled to share. Secondly, I was fascinated with the culture of Harlem ballrooms. And thirdly, during my time at Berklee, I spent a lot of time studying different indigenous traditions, musical traditions around the world. Studied African, Central and South American, Indian, a little bit of Balkan and Irish traditions. And I've noticed that all of them have this one theme in common. Dance, drumming, and singing are inseparable parts of these musical traditions. And so I started thinking about these topics and looking around and seeing that even though I'm a jazz musician and I play a lot of this music, I rarely see people dancing to it live. And so I started questioning myself about these things and finding out why this might be happening. And so in today's presentation, I hope to explore these topics and how can dance change the world for the better. So I'll be focusing on two topics. First one is society. Second one is music education. And in society, I'm going to be talking about community and how dance can improve community. I feel dance can really have this sense of community and unity within the people. And also I feel like in this day and age, we're more polarized than ever. And so I think dancing can help with that. I also see decline in social dancing and people not participating in social dances and also not socializing as much, not talking to each other like on a deep level. And so I feel dancing can bring positive change in this area as well. And mental and physical well-being of people. I feel that in US there's mental health crisis as well as skyrocketing obesity rates, diabetes, heart problems, etc. And I feel that dancing can improve all of these three areas of society. And on music education, I feel that dance is extremely important for the sense of time and feel if you're a performer. It's also important from the historical part to look at the dance and music and how both of these traditions were influencing each other and coexisting and had evolution together. And from compositional standpoint as well, I feel it's very important to think of dance and movements that will go with with the music that you compose. So yeah, I would like to go to the main part of my presentation. So I would like to share my personal story with dancing. I was a pretty introverted kid, and at the age of 10, I was in a summer camp with my family. And there was one day there was a disco night, and so everyone went there, and I went with them, and everyone went dancing. But I kind of was by myself. I didn't really feel like dancing. And then my family was insisting, my friends were insisting, and so I gave in, and I went to dance. And that was a pretty traumatic experience for me personally. I didn't feel comfortable dancing. I felt ashamed of my moves, and just in general, I just didn't feel like in my own body. And so. yeah, after that experience, I wasn't comfortable dancing basically until like 16 or 17 years old, and I would almost never participate in dancing. And so this next piece that I would like to play for you is about me being in that place, having this traumatic experience of dancing. And also, you're gonna see some statistics and some facts why I think social dancing is on decline in the United States. So the first piece is called Break Free, and I hope you enjoy it.
Peer pressure, wanting to fit in. I found myself stumbling, rejecting my own body, feeling uncomfortable. If I give in or if I don't, it's a double bind. Being judged, looked down at, laughed at. Is that the source of fear? Not knowing why, not knowing who. Who am I? Who am I really? Am I really anti-movement? I wish I had time to ask myself those questions. Now, I just want to break free. Break free from the past trauma! Full of emotions, I can't hide from you. Now I know it's true. I'm yearning touch, yet fearing shame. What is happening? Where did courage go? And now I want to take a stand, embrace myself even
Thank you. So yes, basically, starting this dark place, how I overcame it. When I was 16 or 17 during my college years, I started participating in social dancing little by little, but I still felt pretty uncomfortable with it. And it wasn't until COVID and pandemic that I stayed a lot in my house by myself, and I started dancing a lot to music, and I started feeling more and more comfortable. And yeah, overcoming those fears, those shames, and everything that came with it. And so after pandemic was kind of ending, I started going more to social dancing events around Boston. I visited Wallace Thursday Latin Nights, I visited La Fabrica, Havana Club, and then I went to multiple social dance events, dancing schools for Lindy Hop and other styles. I enrolled in an African drum and dance ensemble where we played percussion and danced, and we were switching roles. And yeah, just starting participating more in those things. And what it took me is basically it took me a faith in myself and overcoming that fear. And so this next piece is about that, overcoming fears.
Real to the front, faking to the rear. That's how we put the faith over fear. Truth with the love, ain't no hating over here. Put some juice to the drums, new flavor in your ear. I need a sure thing when I'm doubting. I'm afraid of heights, but the Lord moved mountains. Living water in the pool like a youth fountain. God came through 100 times, really who's counting? Let's get one thing super clear. Overcoming fears, what we doing here. Trust God, take the time needed to prepare. And if you're still afraid to do it, then do it scared. See, fear is what the devil keeps speaking. Courage is a good gift that God gives people. And faith is the strength that it takes to believe it. Matter of fact, let's pray, cause I think I really need it, yeah.
And not just faith, not fear, to overcome my strife. I let my light shine, and I conquer my own life. I trust in God to lead me through the day and night. I choose faith, not fear, to win this fight.
I wanna share what I think and see, but I'm afraid of what they'll think of me.
Thank you. So finishing up with the society part, now I'd like to move to music education part and focus on these three topics there. So the music education, I also have a personal story. Basically, I started playing drums when I was 7 years old, and I became pretty proficient in it fast, like technically, but I had one problem, persistent problem, that my sense of time wasn't quite there and my feel also. And so all of my teachers told me, just practice with the metronome, listen to the recordings, play with the recordings, try to copy their feel. And I did all of that, like all of my practice time was only with metronome, and it did help me a little bit, but it didn't solve the problem, and so I was really frustrated with it. And in fact, yeah, it was affecting my mental health and just my overall being. And it wasn't basically until COVID and the pandemic that I started feeling like some serious improvements in those areas, and this basically all started happening when I started dancing. And yeah, no teachers told me about it, about dancing, importance of dancing for your time and feel. And so, yes, I feel it's very important to include dancing into private lessons and into education performers. And other aspect is, I think, composition. And composition-wise, right now also, basically this journey affected me, and I started, when I'm composing anything, I think about dance, and I think about movements that will go with it. And I think one of the reasons that might be contributing to why social dancing is on decline is because people are not taught dancing in music education. And so they're not taught this relationship, and when musicians compose, they oftentimes forget about this dancing aspect, and they don't think about this. And so if you don't think of dancing when you're composing, it's very hard to see it in life as well. And the third part of it is history, musicology, and I think it's important to know and learn about dance history together with the music history, because those two cultures, they coexisted together and they evolved together, influencing one another. And if we don't include one of those to discussion, it's just basically if you teach like any style of music and you don't talk about the communities in which it was developed. And so yes, you can see basically chronologically popular dance styles in US and how they evolved. And on the left you can see the dances, then you see the time when they were popular, and on the right the music that came with them and that was accompanying them. So yes, and another thing that I also learned, which I didn't know, is that like to all of these dancing styles, basically all of them have roots in Africa. And I didn't know them. I just didn't have any idea how dances were involved, and I never thought about this, never asked myself those questions. And when I started discovering, I was like, wow, it's like very similar to music and how music evolved in the United States as well. And so I dedicated basically my next piece to pay homage to Africa and to the roots of a lot of dancing culture and music culture in the United States.
You know I bring the raps to the booth. I try to spit facts and the truth. But let's take it back to the roots, R&B and hip hop, even jazz to the blues. It all tracks back to the motherland. You can hear the heartbeat in the drum and dance. You can feel the flow in the rhythm when we call and respond, and we know it's tradition. Feel the good time celebration. Later on, feel pain of colonization. But real talk, it didn't stop the innovation. Negro spiritual singing across the nation. Before the music monetized, it was free form. From the choreograph to the free form. Through the years, we know music gotta evolve, but let's pay homage back to where it all started.
Try to disguise their past. They lie so much, but how long can it last? Justice is still living among us, while politicians drown in the green and last. Let's be together, let's stay intact against those who try to tear us apart. Have you ever danced to the rhythm of a bud? Just close your eyes and follow the drum. Follow the drum.
It's the state of mind that we live in, where the cutting edge meets the tradition. Come real close, take a listen. You can hear the motherland and all types of...
Thank you. So coming up next, what I'm gonna do about it, and my future plans with this project. So I want to be an advocate for dance and music, an important link for them in society and music education. I would like to establish a regular gig where I'm going to be encouraging people in the audience to dance, and I want to have it so that anybody without any prior training can just come and start enjoying dancing and the community around it. And this is like my way of making performances more inclusive. And I would like to release this music after I do professional mixing and mastering for it, and write more music that will support this idea, and also give clinics, take it on the road with this music and the regular gig that I plan to establish, and use dancing as part of my teaching method whenever I teach private lessons to students, as well as group lessons, which I already started doing. Create classes in institutions, and possibly write a book about it in the future. So yeah, this was basically my presentation, and I would like to play the last piece for you. It's called Major Congregation, and it's about community. It's about getting together, celebrating life, celebrating music, and I would like to encourage everyone to stand up and join me for a dance. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna show you a couple moves that you can do. If you feel uncomfortable, if you're not feeling, if you don't know how to dance well. So you can do these steps from side to side with the legs. Then you can go back and forth. Yeah, come on here, to the front. And then you can do different things with your hands as well. What is dance to you? What does it mean?
For me, dance is a physical expression of a song. So it's storytelling in a bodily, physical phenomena. The dance visualizes the story, but it also does one other thing that's important. It includes the community. The song is like, it's not like, oh, let me sing you a song and tell you a story. It will be more like, okay, let me sing you a song and tell you a story, but you'll also have a chance to participate in the song by dancing to the song. It's a way to be inclusive in a community. So in fact, you never really just have the song or the music without the participation from people.
Thank you, thank you. Also, in the last video that you saw, it was all the extras from the last year, from all the social dancing events I went to, different schools, different concerts, etc. And yeah, I would like to give my thanks to my family for their support, to my girlfriend Arina for her support, to Danila, Marco, and Patricia, to my Amber and Purple ensembles for helping me to develop this music and playing it, for Samuel, Ian, Julian, Isaac, Pavli, and Cesare for subbing different rehearsals and concerts, for my whole Berklee Global Jazz Institute family, my advisors, Chase and Darren, my official advisors, my unofficial advisors, Kevin Harris, Alan Mallet, Nadia Washington, Joe Galeota, and Ian Berg, and my private instructor teachers, Francisco Mel and Neil Smith, Billy Kilson, and rest in peace, Ralph Peterson. And you can see all the musicians that were recording on this project. Thank you.
Ilya, would you like to talk a little bit about the music before we move on to the
Yes.
questions?
Yes, to quickly talk about the music. Basically, on the music side, I decided to focus on the three musical traditions: West African drum and dance, swing, and hip hop. I focused on them because I have personal connection. I've been studying them a lot during the past few years. And also they make logical sense because West African drum and dance, it's one of the traditions where it basically like the roots of it. Swing is because the most popular time for social dance in the United States was during 1920s, during the Harlem ballrooms. And hip hop is because it's the most popular music style these days, especially among young people. And I would like to focus this music and this project in the future on young people. And so yes, the first piece, Break Free, that you heard, part one, combining swing, tradition, and hip hop. And basically how I wrote this piece, it all started with a melody from a transcription that I did for Alan Chase's class. And this is Coleman Hawkins' Soul and Body. So I'm just gonna play this short excerpt and you can see where the melody is coming from. That's the melody. And so yeah, basically use this short melody and then develop a whole song out of that. And the next piece, Break Free, second part of the first piece, Break Free, Basically, I started composing it using different tetrachords and moving like brightening and darkening sounds. Afterwards, I moved a little bit from tetrachords. There's a few exceptions, but basically, yeah, you can see different tetrachords for each part of the melody that I used. In this next piece, Faith No Fear, I tried to combine in swing with a hip hop. Basically, I heard this track by Mad Villainy, which has like a similar type of vibe for a bass line. I can play a little bit of it for you.
The rest is empty with no brain, but the clever nerd, the best MC with no chain you ever heard. Take it.
So yeah, I basically heard this song, this song, and I started hearing like a swinging rhythm section behind it. And so I tried, what if I combine those two things? And so I came up with my bass line, and yeah, basically that's how I did it. And then I used blues in terms of the harmony, and again brightening and darkening. So the first section of the verse is basically a tonic. Then we'll go two flats down for the fourth, then we go back to tonic, then there's a turnaround, and again back to tonic. So yeah, use those concepts there. Oops. In Lamban, the piece about Africa, I combined African drum and dance with hip hop, and again I used brightening and darkening. Like this is the concept, just amazing concept that I always think about when I compose right now. And also I tried to make minor sound major with this bass line, because bass line basically is in minor key, and I tried to make it sound major, and I think kind of worked. I mean, for me it sounds major. I know it's all subjective. And also Jerry Leak introduced me to this percussion app, and there's a rhythm that's called Lamban. That's why I wrote this piece, and that's how the rhythm sounds. So yeah, I started with this rhythm, then came up with the bass line, and then with everything else. And the last piece that you heard is Major Congregation, mostly focusing on African drum and dance, but it also combines like all kinds of elements in it. Brightening and darkening again. It starts in D flat major, and it always, like throughout the A section, always goes brighter and brighter. And in this song, I tried to do the opposite and make the major sound minor. And in the B section, we have this major progression, which the first chord of it sounds pretty dark to me and minor. And yeah, so that's. Oh, sorry. The other thing, yeah, I got inspired. My rhythm, drum groove for this tune got inspired from Christian Scott tune called "Sunrise in Beijing." That's how it sounds. Oops. So yeah, that was the inspiration. Yeah, that's basically it.
We're gonna open up the floor for the panelists, and we're gonna start with the Maestro Professor Darren Barrett. If you have any questions or comment about Ilya, see.
Check 1, 2. No questions, but definitely comments. Great presentation. Congrats. You know, dance, music. You know, dance involves rhythm, and you know, we're only dealing with 12 tones in Western music, so rhythm to me is king. You know, so that's really awesome what you presented. And compositionally, great compositions. It was, you know, you reached out to me, and I'll talk more about that too. We've been playing together over the last 4 months. And what I see in you is great leadership. You're very organized, because he's been organizing sessions, and we'll get together and play. And I've seen you improve over the last 4 months playing my music, which is really awesome, you know. Great compositions. You know, I don't want to say I was really surprised, but I was surprised at your compositions and your vision for music, which is really great because you're thinking about concepts, which I'm really into, musical concepts that will reach the people. Because, you know, I don't think we shouldn't really play music for ourselves. We should create and make music for people. And that's what it seems like you're really tied into that. And I love the way you're bringing together older musicians with younger musicians. Because you do these sessions at Wally's and you'll invite older musicians to play with the younger musicians. Because, you know, this music is handed down. You know, so, and sometimes the younger musicians don't really seek out the older musicians. And you're showing leadership to say, hey, we need to do this by, presenting that platform at Wally's to do that. So let's give him a great round of applause for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
But with your presentation, everything that I saw is beautiful and from the heart. You know, dance, just as you said, presented, just there's so much benefits to that, you know. But feeling rhythm through dance, as James Brown taught us, you know, that really gets to the depth of our creativity, the rhythm and the feeling of the way the music feels. So fantastic. Thank you so much for asking me.
Thank you so much, Darren.
And
really appreciate all your support.
Congratulations.
And guidance.
Thank you, Darren. I will give the microphone to your advisor, Maestro Chase Morin.
Is it on? Oh, there we go. Ilya, congrats. It's been an evolution. I've really seen it progress over this past year. And, you know, what's striking to me is that this has been such a personal journey for you. And I just want to, congratulate you specifically and especially on that, because what you've done, kind of as you mentioned in your personal story, is go from a place of something that's really brand new, maybe even uncomfortable, right? And I think everyone can relate maybe to trying something so uncomfortable and having the bravery to dedicate yourself to that, you know, and that kind of purpose, taking all these classes, going out to the community, learning and doing the dance yourself. That to me is what's kind of special about how you went about this project, right? About that, not only were you studying the importance of dance, but you went and did it. You know, so I just congratulations on that aspect of things.
Thank you.
I know, you know, there's actually, why don't I'll ask you a question, then I'll continue with some comments.
Sure.
Can you describe to everyone kind of the original? I know you just because of practicalities it didn't work out, but can you describe kind of what you imagined originally for this project and how that might, you know, go into your future plans in terms of collaborating specifically with dancers and stuff?
Yes, originally I wanted to record it as a live concert and have dancers and record the video of it. What is my next step for establishing the regular gig? I wanted to do it in this presentation, this project. It's just I realized that it's going to take much more time to develop it naturally without forcing something onto it. So yeah, my dream is to establish a regular gig whenever I'm going to be leaving. And collaborate with dancing community there, and also encourage all the time people to dance during these performances, and have it mostly for young audience, because older generation is already participating. In fact, most of these social events that I went to, it was mostly older generation. There was not so many young people there dancing. So I want to dedicate it for young people. And yeah, I would like to have it this lively thing where we can develop that dancers will influence musicians, how musicians play, musicians will influence dancers, and we're gonna have like some cues, some different things. And I already have a few ideas how I might do that. But yeah, I mean that's the idea. And whenever we establish something that is already like some concrete thing, maybe a new dance, a new music to accompany this dance, I would like to take it on the road and show to the world. So yeah, that's the original idea.
Beautiful, yeah, and I really, that's amazing. I can't wait to see you delve into that process. So just a few little comments of things that I think
Sure, yeah.
for a continuation, you know, because I know you're dedicated to this and some things to think about in the future. One thing I was thinking, you know, with the melodies and the lyrics, the vocal lines that you were writing, you know, you've been so dedicated to learning specific rhythms and dance patterns, and that's connected to the movement. But don't forget about the power of melody and how you write a melody that makes you want to move as well. And that also, I think, corresponds to the harmonic movement, right? Where do you place those chords, those changes? How does that storytelling, how does that kind of movement also make you want to move in certain ways?
Right, yeah, and in the future, as I said, I would like to compose more music for this project, but when I'm going to be composing, I'm going to be mostly thinking about dance and movement. Right now, for this particular presentation, I was thinking about my journey and to basically to have like a soundtrack for this journey. I still thought about dancing, and I think you can dance to all of these songs, but my primarily focus was to highlight the journey and not the dance culture that I would like to create in the future.
Great, yeah. So anyway, so just thinking about like I encourage you to keep on developing
Yeah.
those skills. You know, it's like a lifetime of work of getting into, you know, studying the great composers, how they made incredible songs that put all these elements together in this way that just was undeniable. You want to get up and move your body. So continue on that path. I think it'll be fantastic. For the script, you know, there are places where I think you got off a script a little bit, but that's totally cool. Just keep on honing your language also of how you talk about this, because one of the things that's powerful about this project, it's a personal journey, but it's also a message, you know, about the importance of dance in our society, in our music education, and you're making a strong case of something that's really missing and that could be really vital to our society, and you want to make that point as strong as possible. So keep on thinking about, you know, present this to other people, especially to other communities. I think we're kind of here on the same page with you in agreement, but there's other people, other places, I won't mention them, that might be like, what, dance in a music education program? I don't know about, you know. So think about that aspect of things, and because I really imagine as you develop this, you could have a strong case for how you can start programs, start organizations, start, like you said, music series and things like that, and it'll take some powerful prose and leadership, like Darren mentioned, on your part. So continue developing that. I think it'll be fantastic. Oh, I've worked with him. I remember actually I saw your presentation yesterday, so there are a few moments. For example, I would mention one thing for dance in particular. There's a lot of music being made for dance, contemporary music being made. So I think I would make sure to be specifically like in jazz programs, in institutions, right? So some people might be like, wait a second, I'm making EDM music all the time. That's specifically for dance. But you're speaking specifically to a lot of the music that's in the
Yes, I would like to mostly focus on the acoustic music.
Yeah, so make sure to specify little things like that, you know, will really improve things. But man, overall, fantastic work. I've seen such an incredible progress. I'm really proud of you. It's fantastic, and I just can't wait to see what you do in the future. So congratulations.
Thank you, Chase. Thank you so much.
Wait a minute. And what places would reject, you said something about dance in other places in the world?
I'll mention those to you offline.
Mention it now.
Okay, well, there's a school just a few blocks away that I did a master's program at before that. You know, I won't mention the name, but you might know what I'm talking about. And let me tell you, some of these ideas would be very revolutionary there. So I love to speak to you further about that. Yeah, thank you. Anyways, I'll pass it to Danilo.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Chase. Let me just couple. I have
Gotta save my, gotta be careful about what I say here.
a couple of comments, Ilya. Let me start with congratulations. I failed to say at the beginning of your presentation that you're now a master student, but you actually been with us also as an graduate student. So it's so beautiful to see you standing here after like this journey of, I think,
5 years.
3 years, 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. Like you're one of our really senior students. So that's really congratulations on the music, the presentation, the drawing that you didn't mention.
Sorry, yes, that's the one thing I will. Yeah. So yeah, all of the drawings, all the artwork is from AI. It's from Dali.
Okay, wow, very powerful, very powerful. And like Denner said, your composition, I also resonate. And I didn't know you write lyrics so well. I think that's
yeah, I would like to specify.
Please.
I wrote lyrics for the first piece, Break Free, and then I wrote lyrics for the chorus of Faith Not Fear. But all the rap verses, rapper wrote it himself. I just gave him guidance. I had like a draft of lyrics, how I was envisioning it, but he decided to write his own based on my lyrics.
Okay.
And the chorus for Lamban was written by Arena.
Okay, well, beautiful work for all the readers. It's very nice. And it's important you give that credit to because it's such an important part of what you presented.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to pull your ear a little bit. I'm sorry, but I have to go there because you substantially went longer than where you're supposed to. And that's very important that for your next time where you have a set limitation on time, you respect it because it's like, everybody should work with the same limitation. So I have to say because you went substantially longer, okay? Now, in terms of comments, I wanna sort of like, as I told you already in class when you presented this, I think you really are I hope in your future you can emphasize this idea of making dance part of the music curriculum. I think you make absolutely a lot of sense talking about this, and I know how much music education is important for you, and I think you really may want to experiment this to make this, like you said, not just part of your studio, but like something you advocate for and give example and write about. Okay, so there's a big empty spot there that you're covering with that is very important. I think one of the things, and maybe you did, and forgive me if I didn't catch it, but I did not hear you talking so much about dance as a cultural expression, which I feel that's very important. Dance, just like music, in every culture becomes an identity, and a lot of culture are very specific dance. And one of the things that I was also surprised is, as coming from such a rich culture like the Russian culture, why only focus on dance from an American point of view? I think you have a lot of room in the future to explore also your own roots and use global jazz as a lens to, make really interesting combination. My question is, because I've been, meeting with you from the beginning about your presentation, and I know that part of the focus, beside of dance and music education, you also kind of did research on dance and therapy, right? And maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I did a little bit, and actually, there's one slide. Oh yeah, here. I even included this here, and I was preparing my presentation to have musical therapy. It's one of the things. As I said, I was really short on time, and I had to cut something. And also, out of all of these topics, I felt less personally connected with musical therapy. That's why I didn't include. But yeah, there's a lot of studies emerging suggesting this strong link between dance therapy and music therapy, and that combining those bring so much better results than them by themselves. And I think for music therapists, it's important to study dance therapy as well, because we have music therapy, and when we have dance therapy, it is a music therapy together. So that's basically, yeah, I feel that that's also one of the important things in music education, that musical therapists should study dance and therapy of movement. And again, I don't have a lot of personal connection. I didn't study musical therapy, but yeah, that's something that I would like to explore in the future. And actually, I scheduled a meeting with Patricia to talk about this subject as well, and how I can bring it in the future.
That's very interesting. I hope you can, further develop this idea. Okay, thank you so much. And Maestro Danilo.
Ilya, congratulations. Congratulations. Yes, fantastic. And it's been great to see you develop from the first time we met, and the question I asked you, are you committed? Are you going to commit? And you look at me at the eyes and say, yeah. And I say, you have shown more than commitment. You have shown something more important than commitment is consistency. And I think I really appreciate that. Congratulations. You found something that you're passionate about it. I mean, to be doing this career, going on the road and eating and sleeping, you need a passion. You need to have this kind of, urge that you're changing the world and that you're about to do something really good for humanity, And I love the idea of the rhythm plays an important role in how we perceive and connect. That's a very important, and how we can make a better word to dancing. Roy Haynes talked about that's the first thing that we know we got the rhythm. You're alive because the heart is beating. You see, I love the whole thing that you presented. I had an issue a little bit with the overwhelming amount of responsibility that you're taking upon you to deliver this presentation in 20 minutes is what we have. Because you have how dance changed the world, right? And you have how music education and the awareness of dance in the music education system is going to change the world, right? But you also have a story here about your personal transformation to the awareness of dance in your life. You see, I think, I would go back a little bit and just recap, and I heard a lot of the personal journey here, because you might have a whole life here now of work, that you're going to be doing. You can take this forever, my brother. This is a theme of life. This is not homework, it's life work. Why dance is important, you're talking about. Maybe bring some facts about the number of places that are losing dance and the amount of crime that are raising. The component of how this society starts to deteriorate when you take away the art from their life. That could be very powerful for this project that you have. I am very worrisome to hear that the social dance is on decline. You see, this is it's like the idea of noise. The noise is really a pollution nowadays. Musically, I just go back and just a little remix. You need some remix in this.
Yes.
Okay.
It's rough mix. I need to do professional mixing.
Yeah, that's a little rough in there. And then. No, but it's cool. The music came out. I'm just trying to give you a hint to. And it's just me probably, but I love Arena contribution on it. I just thought that in a couple places you could lower the key for her a little more, because she's way up there on the G's, like it's a little bit on the top of her raised there. It would be more powerful that she could lower her, especially was what was the second or the third one, the slow one, so beautiful. I think it's the second one, yes. The D minor one, that one. She's up there like hitting. Started. You used her opera that she's a little bit. It's a personal thing. I would try to lower her a little bit. But man, congratulations! Being an honor working with you, and you're such an incredible example of somebody who is cultivating his gift, his vocation and integrity to help humanity, my brother. Blessings.
Thanks so much, Lou. Thank you.
Congratulations, yeah.